The AI race is easily one of the most intense, most talked about competitions in tech right now. You've got giants, you've got startups, everyone is scrambling for the top spot. But what if the race is already over? In this explainer, we're diving into a source that makes that exact, very bold claim.
So who is actually winning this thing? Is it OpenAI, the one who kicked the whole thing off? Is it some dark horse competitor we haven't even seen yet? Or is it the tech giant that, frankly, a lot of people thought was caught sleeping at the wheel? It's the big question, right?
Well, according to the source material we're looking at today, the debate is finished. The argument is that while we were all watching the race, one competitor didn't just take the lead. They lapped the field and quietly crossed the finish line. And that winner? It's Google.
Okay, so how do you even begin to back up a claim that huge? Well, the first piece of the argument isn't about some mind-bendingly complex tech. It's about something much, much simpler. What you, the user, actually get for your money.
Let's break down the high-tier plans, the ones for the real power users. With OpenAI and Anthropic, you're paying a lot, up to $200 a month, and what you're getting is mostly more tokens, which is basically just more processing power and some early access. But then, you look at Google's column. For about half the price of ChatGPT's top plan, you get their best model, plus this whole suite of other stuff you'd normally pay for, like YouTube Premium and a wild 30 terabytes of storage.
And this slide just lays it out so clearly. This is the core of the value argument from the source. It's not a small difference. For its highest-paying customers, Google is apparently offering a way bigger, much more useful bundle for a whole lot less money.
Of course, a great deal doesn't mean a thing if the product is junk. And for a while, let's be honest, the big knock against Google's AI was that it was just kind of meh. But the source we're looking at says that whole story has completely flipped. The products aren't just catching up anymore, they're getting really good.
To give you a feel for this change, the source pulled this user testimonial that says it all. A user said that using ChatGPT today feels like using an iPhone 4 in 2025. I mean, wow. In the tech world, that's about as brutal a comparison as you can make.
And then, in the very same review, that same user said Google's Gemini feels like you're using the next unreleased iPhone. The source presents this as a perfect snapshot of this huge shift in how people are starting to feel about the quality and the user experience.
And we're not just talking about one single model here. The argument is that this is about a whole ecosystem of top-tier products. You've got Gemini 3, which is reportedly going toe-to-toe with OpenAI's next-generation model. You've got Veo 3.1, a super efficient video generator. And then there are these specialized tools like Notebook LM, which has this cult following with students and researchers because it's just so incredibly useful.
And this isn't just about feelings. The source actually ran a poll asking people what their daily driver AI is, the one they use every single day. The results? 53% said Google Gemini. Now, if you had shown me that poll a year ago, I would have said no way. It points to a real, measurable shift in what people are actually using day to day.
So all this improvement in quality builds towards what the source calls Google's ultimate, almost unfair advantage, its distribution. See, it's not just about making a great product, it's about getting it into people's hands with zero effort.
Just think about the sheer scale we're talking about here. 3 billion people use Google Search every day, and now Gemini is being baked right into that experience. Then there are the nearly 2 billion people on Gmail, where Gemini is now just there, ready to summarize your emails or write a draft for you.
And maybe the biggest one of all, 3 billion active Android devices out there. Google is making Gemini the default assistant on all of them. For billions of people, it's just going to be there, no download required.
So this is the crucial point. It's a totally different strategy. OpenAI's model is, you come to us. You have to remember to open the app or go to the website. Google's model is, we are already there. The AI is just showing up inside the tools you already live in all day. Your search, your email, your phone.
And this all leads us to the final battleground, which is just cold, hard cash. The source argues this has become a war of attrition, and one side has basically an infinite war chest.
According to the financials cited by our source, OpenAI is projected to lose a staggering $17 billion in 2026. Running these models is just insanely expensive, and they're reportedly losing money on every user, even the ones paying top dollar.
And on the flip side, Google's annual profit is around $70 billion. They're a money-printing machine that can afford to run its AI at a loss forever. They can just subsidize it with their other businesses and play a game no startup can survive.
Now, in the tech world, a code red is the big red panic button. It means drop everything you're doing, all hands on deck, the building is on fire. It's what you do when you face a threat to your very existence.
And the source claims that late last year, OpenAI's leadership did exactly that. They declared a code red. And the reason for this existential panic? The launch and success of Gemini 3 and the very real data showing that users were starting to switch. It was an emergency call made out of what the source calls sustained fear.
Okay, so what about everybody else in the race? Well, the source argues that they're all finding their own lanes, but none of them are really set up to challenge Google's massive, broad dominance.
You've got Anthropic, which has built a great reputation in a premium niche, especially for coding. But it's also heavily backed by Google. So a win for Anthropic is kind of still a win for Google. DeepSeek is making models cheaper, but it's not really a consumer product. And Grok is the edgy, uncensored rebel, but it lives on X and doesn't threaten Google's hold on, the entire internet.
And finally, the source argues that this lead isn't just about software. It extends into the physical world. We're talking about their dominance in autonomous cars with Waymo and their huge moves into humanoid robots through major partnerships with companies like Boston Dynamics and Apollo Robotics.
Which really brings us back to this one final provocative question that sums up the entire argument. If the best AI is already seamlessly built into the tools that billions of us already use every single day, was the race to win us over already finished before most of us even knew it had started?